In this clip from the Make Hijrah podcast, we talked to Abu Suaya Abdulaziz. He tells us how he started his journey seeking knowledge in Egypt. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. When did you accept Islam and where?
Okay, yeah. So I'm from UK, Oxford, close to London, for those that don't know. Small city, but pretty famous because of the universities.
Right.
And accepted Islam right after leaving school. I kind of believed in Islam from what you call high school, but accepting Islam, practicing, taking the Shahada was probably it's a long time ago now, early 2000, around about September 11th. I think it was after September 11th, not before.
So why didn't you just stay in Oxford? I'm sure there's a Muslim community there.
At that time specifically, there wasn't really. There is a Muslim community,
right?
But unlike London and Birmingham, the revert community at that time was tiny, and then the Muslim community is not very active. There wasn't much going on. You had a couple of masajid, and you did have a reasonably large, proportionally, Muslim community, but there wasn't much. There was zero support systems. It was like if you had friends, that was it. That was your support system.
Right.
There were no lessons. There were nothing to do. It was very cultural. So like the Bangladeshi mosque. It's called the Bangladeshi mosque.
Right.
So it was kind of cultural. East Asian, Pakistan, Bangladesh. That was it. So a brother, he's like, go to Egypt. Study Arabic for 6 months.
Right.
Yeah, I told you the story before. So we'll pay for the ticket and we'll sponsor you for the 6 months, and then after the first month.
So when he was saying go study Arabic, it was what? Go to the centers or go to Azhar? Or
yeah, no, it was the centers. So I had a friend from Oxford who was here at the time. Contacted him. He's like, listen, we got a room. You can share with the rent. You can come over, right, and we'll get him started. Do you remember the Cordoba and those centers? There was like loads back in early 2000s. You remember? Yeah. There was like they were opening up centers left, right, and center.
Right. Yeah.
So you could like every day you'd hear a new center opening up. Someone rented an apartment, and then you have these little centers. I think Fajr was the core for most of them, and then teachers that got a bit of a name would go and open up a center, right? Right. Yeah. And then that's how it started. And then you had the private teachers who would teach in their houses.
Right.
And back then, if you remember, it was like 10 Janae an hour, 15 Janae an hour.
Right.
It's like £1, an English pound an hour. So it was cheap.
So what were your first impressions, man, when you
I got off the plane. I didn't know what to expect. I was 20, 21, I think 21, around about 21, 22. And I didn't really know what I was doing. It was kind of just, all right, 6 months. I ain't doing anything with my life. I was a bit of a waste man. I was just like wasting my life away, literally doing nothing. Like, alhamdulillah, I'd become Muslim, so I'd tried to stop doing the things that I shouldn't be doing, when you tried to leave certain lifestyles behind. Right. So I was just like doing nothing, so I wouldn't be doing something wrong, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
The PlayStation was my sort of, sit and play PlayStation. That was my day. So I was like, it was like, can't go wrong. Let's have a try. Right. So I got here, and then Cairo's big, right? So I'm not from London, and you got to go to London and stuff, but if you know Oxford's a small city. Cairo's not just big; it's big, crowded, crammed. Right. And 2003 was worse because of the traffic. The traffic was like back then. Right. It's not like now we have all these big freeways and stuff. It was like you get stuck in traffic for 2-3 hours. Back lots of people. Right. Noisy.
That was Nasser City?
Nasser City, yeah. I went straight to Nasser City. Do you remember the old Swiss City? Swiss City back? Yeah. So like, it was full of foreigners. My biggest shock was the amount of foreigners, the amount of American brothers, British brothers, French. At that time, no French. It was American and British. Right. And, like my first day, go to the masjid. My friend Ismail, the brother that was with me at the time, I was sharing an apartment with. Right. This brother's from London, this brother's from the States, and I've met brothers from all over. America, and it was, you know, it was nice.
Right.
That I actually like that. That was nice. That was comforting. Oh, mashallah, they're all here for the same thing.
Right.
And every day you're eating with someone different. It was the vibe was nice back then.
Right. Yeah. To see the full podcast, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel.